जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्वशे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। तो आज वी आर reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. This is verse 39th of the 10th chapter. So we will recite the verse. Yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yat. Okay. Yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yacāpi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījam tadahmar Arjuna na tadasti vinā syān mayā bhūtam carācaram yat, whatever, cha, also, api, maybe, sarva-bhūtānāṁ, of all creations, bījam, seed, tat, that, aham, I am, Arjuna, O Arjuna, na, not, tat, that, asti, there is, vinā, without, yat, which, syāt, exists, mayā, me, bhūtānāṁ, created being, cara-acaram, moving and non-moving. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me. Purport. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Kṛṣṇa. Without Kṛṣṇa's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Kṛṣṇa is called māyā, that which is not. Hare Krishna. So, this particular chapter has been named as Opulence of Kṛṣṇa. This is called Vibhuti-yoga. And in this chapter, Kṛṣṇa has been discussing with Arjuna about his vibhutis. So, before we come to this verse, Arjuna has posed a question in front of Kṛṣṇa in this chapter, in the 17th verse. In the 17th verse, Arjuna says that Katham vidyam aham yogis tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyesi bhagavan mayā. So Arjuna is posing a question in front of Kṛṣṇa in this chapter, beginning of the chapter, that, O Kṛṣṇa, O Supreme Mystic, Katham vidyam aham yoga. He says, Kṛṣṇa, you are a Supreme Mystic. How shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? Tvam sada parichintayan. And keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan mayā. In what various form you are to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in answer to this question, Kṛṣṇa has spoken several verses discussing how a devotee like Arjuna, who is posing a question in front of Kṛṣṇa that how can I remember you always, at all point of time. To answer this question, Kṛṣṇa has discussed all his opulences. That by discussing my opulences, by remembering my opulences, you can remember me. So, this is the entire chapter, 10th chapter, which is discussing the opulences of Kṛṣṇa. And the question beneath all the discussion that Kṛṣṇa is doing with Arjuna is remembrance of Kṛṣṇa. How to remember Kṛṣṇa constantly. That is why Kṛṣṇa is discussing in answer to this particular question in the 10th chapter of 17th verse. So Kṛṣṇa has described the list of opulences in various ways, that wherever you see any kind of opulence in this world, you can know for certain that that opulence is coming from me. And that's why in the last 4 verses, these are the last 4 verses of this chapter, where Kṛṣṇa is ending his discussion by saying that athva bahunaitena kim gyatena tava Arjuna vishtabhyam idham Kṛṣṇam ekanshena sthito jagat. By my single fragment of my energy, I pervade this entire universe. Oh Arjuna, what is the need of discussing my opulences? In the sense, how much can I discuss my opulences? I have already described so much. My opulences are unlimited. Yad yad vibhuti matsattvam srimad arjitam evava tattad eva avagachatvam mama tejom anshashambhava. Kṛṣṇa is saying in the second last verse that wherever you see any kind of opulence, beautiful object, glorious creation, you can know for certain that that particular creation or opulence, it springs from a fragment of my opulences. So, this is the entire discussion, opulences of Kṛṣṇa. And the whole discussion is centered around remembrance of Kṛṣṇa. Right? That's why in our Vedic literatures, you will find the essence of all instruction. The essence of all the Vedic literature. What is the essence of all Vedic literature? Smartavyam satatam Vishnu, vismartavyam na jatachit, sarve vidhi nishedhasyur etayor eva kinkara. The Vedic literature say that all the things that are discussed in the Shastras, all the things that are discussed in the Vedic literature, all the rules and regulations that are given in the Vedas, etayor eva kinkara. This is the basic principle behind all the principles that are given in our Shastra, all the rules and regulations. What is that? Smartavyo satatam Vishnu. That one should be always able to remember Kṛṣṇa at all points of time. And that's why Srila Rupa Goswami also, when he comes to discuss nectar of instruction, what is nectar of instruction? Nectar of instruction is the essence of all the instructions given in all the Shastras. Nana Shastra Vicharinaika Nipuno. Our Goswamis were Nana Shastra Vicharinaika Nipun. They are very expert in finding out what is given, what is the true essence of all the Shastras. There are many people who get swayed away when they read Vedic literature, that somewhere this God is to be worshipped, somewhere someone else is to be worshipped. So people get swayed away, they don't understand what is the real meaning of the Shastra. But Srila Rupa Goswami very intelligently puts instructions of all the Shastras in just 11 verses. And that is nectar. Just like if you have to, what is essence? If you want to understand what is essence, you can take a flower. We all have seen essence. Essence comes in these small bottles. You have rose essence, jasmine essence. What is that essence? How is that made? You bring thousands and thousands of flowers, take all the petals out, crush it, and out of all the 1,000 flowers, what do you get? Is this much of liquid. But how much that costs? Isn't it? So this is essence. So the essence of entire Vedic literature is smartavyo satatam Vishnu. That one should always be able to remember Kṛṣṇa. And therefore Srila Rupa Goswami compiled a literature. That is nectar of instruction. Upadeshamrit. And in that also he says, of all the instruction that I have given in all the 11 verses, what is the essence of all the 11 verses that I have given? He says, Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtanano Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishthan Vraje Tadanuragi Jananugami Kale Naeda Khilam Ityupadesha Saram. Now this is the Sara, this is the essence of all the Vedic literature. Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya. One should always try to remember Nama, Rupa, Charit, Adi and do Kirtan. Do Kirtan of the Lord. Do Kirtan of the name, form, quality, pastime of the Lord. Tannama, Rupa, Charitadi, Sukirtananu, Smrityo, Kramena, Rasana. One should gradually think of these name, form, qualities, pastimes of the Lord and Manasi Niyojya. One should engage one's mind and tongue while remembering the name, form, qualities, pastimes of the Lord. What else? Tishthan Vraje. One should sit in this Vrindavan. Tishthan Vraje tad anuragi jananugami. And one should become anugami. One should become a disciple of tad anuragi jana. One such great exalted personality who has developed taste for Kṛṣṇa's holy name, form, qualities, pastimes. So this is the essence of all Vedic literature. Here also we find Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrityo, that one should remember. So again we come to this point that all the Vedic literatures, they are pointing us to this particular instruction. And that's why Arjuna has also asked the same question, in answer to which Kṛṣṇa is giving this answer. All the opulences he is discussing. Again, we come to Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. What Kṛṣṇa has to say in Srimad Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. In the 6th chapter, 38th verse. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. Again Kṛṣṇa is giving the same instruction. Yomam pashyati sarvatra, one who can always remember me, one who can always see me in all situations at all time. Yomam pashyati sarvatra, he sees me everywhere, and sarvam cha mai pashyati, and he sees everything in me. Tasyaham, for that personality, na pranashyami, I am never lost. Tasyaham na pranashyami sacha mena pranashyati, and for such a person I am never lost. He is never lost to me, I am never lost to him. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 45th verse, Kṛṣṇa is giving instructions to Uddhava. He is discussing that who is the best of all devotees, O Uddhav? Sarva-bhūteshu yah pashyet bhagavad-bhāvamatmanah bhūtāni bhagavatятman esha bhagavato-tamah. Here also, sarva-bhūteshu yah pashyet, remembering Kṛṣṇa at all points of time, knowing Kṛṣṇa at all points of time, seeing Kṛṣṇa at all points of time. Sarva-bhūteshu yah pashyet, very similar to this verse, yaccapi sarva-bhūtānāṁ bījaṁ tadahmar Arjuna. Seeing that Kṛṣṇa is the seed of all the living entities, na asti vinā syāt, and without him nothing can exist. No living being, no movable, animate, inanimate object, nothing can exist without the presence of Kṛṣṇa. He is sarva-karana-karanam. He is the cause of all causes. And therefore in the 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 45th verse, Kṛṣṇa is giving instruction to Uddhava. Sarva-bhūteshu yah pashyet. In all living entities, Bhagavad-bhāva-atmani, one who sees me, Bhagavad-bhāva, one who can do Bhagavad-bhāva by seeing all the living entities, by seeing any animate, inanimate object. If one can have the Bhagavad-bhāva that here is Kṛṣṇa, if one can remember Kṛṣṇa by seeing him, by seeing anything of this world, Kṛṣṇa says that bhūtāni bhagavatятman esha bhagavato-tamah. One who is seeing me like that, one who is remembering me at all points of time, he is bhagavato-tamah. He is the most exalted devotee, O Uddhav. Again, Kṛṣṇa is instructing us that one should always remember him. Smartavyam satatam Vishnu. Again in Brahma Samhita, what Brahmaji has to say. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayante yam shyama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. What Brahmaji is saying, who are the real sadhus or santa? Santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. One who sees Kṛṣṇa only once in a day? No, he says Santah sadaiva. Sadaiva means always. Santah sadaiva hridayeshu. In his heart, in his mind, one is always remembering Kṛṣṇa. Why? Because his heart, his eyes are tinged with the salve of love. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. His eyes are tinged with the salve of bhakti, with salve of love, with salve of affection for Kṛṣṇa. The ointment of love and affection makes a devotee on the highest position, on the highest state of devotional service to see Kṛṣṇa at all points of time. Always. So in all the Shastras we can find that this is the essence of all instructions. That smaratavyam satatam Vishnu. And Kṛṣṇa is bound by such love. Again in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 11th canto, Kṛṣṇa speaks a verse saying that one who is actually seeing me like this at all points of time, what is the status of such a devotee, such a Bhagavato-uttama? So Kṛṣṇa says, Visrijati hridayam na yasya sakshat. For such a devotee who is trying to see Krishna at all points of time, Visrijati Hridayam Nayasya Sakshad, Krishna resides in the heart of such a devotee. Hari Avasha Abhihitopya Ghoga Nashah. Krishna, whose one name, whose one holy name can destroy heaps and heaps of sins, sinful activities. That Supreme Lord, He resides, He says, Visrijati Hridayam Nayasya Sakshad, in Sakshat Swarupa. Just like Brahmaji is saying that Yam Shyama Sundaram Achinta Guna Swarupam. That devotee, he is seeing the Shyama Sundar form of the Lord in his heart. So similarly, in the 55th verse of second chapter of 11th canto, Kṛṣṇa is saying, Visrijati Hridayam Nayasya Sakshat. Why? Because Pranaya Rasanaya Dhritangri Padma. Because that devotee binds the lotus feet of the Lord in his heart by Pranaya Rasanaya. Rasanaya means the ropes. The ropes of affection for Krishna binds him in the heart of such a devotee. प्रेम के बस अर्जुन रथ हाक्यो भूल गयो ठकुराई ऐसी अनुपम प्रेम सगाई दुर्योधन को भोग न खायो रूखो साग विदुर घर खायो ऐसे प्रेम पुजारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम. So Krishna gets bound by the love and affection of his devotees, and he resides in heart of such a devotee, one who is always thinking of him. Therefore Bilva Mangal Thakur, he also says that, oh Krishna, you can take away your hand from me. Bilva Mangal Thakur, when he reached Vrindavan, a small boy, cowherd boy, was guiding him all along Sri Vrindavan. That small boy was no one else than Sri Shyama Sundara, Madana Mohana. He was guiding him all along, and one day Sri Bilva Mangal Thakur recognized, oh, this is Krishna. Here is Krishna. I have been with Krishna all the time. And he realized, and as he realized Krishna was walking with him, he grabbed the hand of Krishna like this, tightly. And he says, now I have caught you. Now I have caught you, my Lord. Now you cannot go away. I understood it is you who has been guiding me all along in this Vrindavan. What did Krishna do? Krishna is Chanchala Shiromani. He takes his hand away. The hand slips off. And Bilva Mangal Thakur, for a moment, he thought Krishna is gone. And as he starts to lament and Krishna is laughing at a distance, Bilva Mangal Thakur did not have eyes to see Krishna. He plucked out his eyes before coming to Vrindavan. We all know about the story. His hand taken away, Bilva Mangal Thakur, for a moment, he became depressed. But then he says, oh Krishna, you can take away your hand from me. But how will you take away your form which is residing in my heart? I have caught you in my heart. Vraje prasiddham navanita chauram. Chauragra ganyam purusham namami. So there also, the devotee who is constantly remembering Krishna, who is constantly seeing Krishna at all points of time, in every place, he binds Krishna in the heart. That is a devotee. But that platform of devotional service is Bhagavatottama, is the most exalted platform, is the most revered platform, the platform which we all aspire for, which a devotee who is practicing devotional service, he aspires for such a platform. When oh when that day will be mine, that I can always remember Krishna. But for us, for conditioned souls like us, who are not even able to remember Krishna while chanting his names, for us, such a position is very, very exalted. Such a position is very rare, very exalted. And we understand our utter inability to realize such Krishna's position, Krishna's presence at all points of time, seeing Krishna at all points of time, everywhere, in all living entities. At least for myself I can say that yes, such a position is very rare. But how do we go ahead then? Then Krishna comes to our help. Because he understands that not all of a sudden we can just start remembering Kṛṣṇa at all point of time, in all phases of life, in all situations, in all objects we can see Kṛṣṇa. We cannot do like that. Therefore, this chapter where Kṛṣṇa is discussing his opulences, this is the first step in realizing Kṛṣṇa. This is the first step. Where Arjuna has posed a question in the 17th verse that, Kṛṣṇa, tell me, how can I remember you at all point of time? So Kṛṣṇa says, remember my opulences, O Arjuna. And if you remember my opulences, you can remember me at all points of time. And is there scarcity of opulences? Kṛṣṇa has unlimited number of opulences. Anywhere we see, we can find Kṛṣṇa's opulences. Anywhere we go, we can find that here is Kṛṣṇa's opulences manifesting in front of us. Aishwaryasya samagrasya yashashash. The opulences of Kṛṣṇa. The word Bhagavan itself means Bhagavan. One, just like you say Dhanavan. What is the meaning of Dhanavan? One who possesses Dhana. Viryavan. What is the meaning of Viryavan? One who possesses Virya. Therefore, what is the meaning of Bhagavan? Bhagavan means one who possesses 6 opulences. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashashriya jnana vairagyasya. The 6 opulences of Kṛṣṇa. So therefore, Kṛṣṇa has manifested his opulences in front of us. We cannot see the syāma sundara formyam syāma sundaram achinta gunaswarupam in our hearts at all points of time. So for us, the first step for devotees like who are, like at least I can say for myself, neophyte like us, Kṛṣṇa manifests his opulences in this world, and he guides us that you can remember me by remembering my opulences. In the 7th chapter, Kṛṣṇa says, Rasoham apsukonteya prabhasmi sashishuryayo pranavah sarva vedeshu shabda khe paurusham nripa. While explaining this verse in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada once said that it's very easy to remember Kṛṣṇa. He says, Rasoham apsukonteya. We drink water every day. Prabhupada told, when you drink water, remember Kṛṣṇa, because rasoham apsukonteya. Kṛṣṇa is saying, I am the taste in all the rasa. I am the taste of water. This is the way of remembering Kṛṣṇa. Now Prabhupada gave a revolutionary explanation to this verse in Los Angeles. He said, even a drunkard can become Kṛṣṇa conscious. That was revolutionary, because Prabhupada said that if a drunkard who is drinking wine, if he remembers Kṛṣṇa, that the taste of wine is Kṛṣṇa, that will purify him and bring him to the ultimate platform of remembering Kṛṣṇa at all points of time. That was Prabhupada. Remembering Kṛṣṇa by seeing his opulences. That is the first step in remembering Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, Kṛṣṇa has given us these verses. That you can remember me. Just see the water. While drinking water, we can remember. Rasoham apsukonteya. And prabhasmi sashishuryayo. Who doesn't see the sun every day? We all see the sun every day. The prabha of the Surya, Kṛṣṇa says, I am the prabha, I am the light, I am the effulgence of that sun. Therefore, remember me by remembering my opulences. And in this entire chapter, Kṛṣṇa has discussed only this. He says, of the letters, I am the letter A. Among all the Vedas, I am the Omkar. Among Vrishni, I am Vasudeva. Among Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya. So we see Vedic literatures are filled with this. Among horses, I am the horse of Bali Maharaj. Uchchaishrava. Isn't it? Kṛṣṇa is discussing. Among elephants, I am Airavata. Among trees, I am banyan tree. Who doesn't see a banyan tree? We see banyan tree, immediately we remember the verse, because Kṛṣṇa is helping us to remember him. So this is a way, the first step to remember Kṛṣṇa. We all saw that Bhagavad Bhava Atmani, to remember Kṛṣṇa, it's not easy. We can't remember Kṛṣṇa while chanting his names and by hearing his pastimes. How will we be able to remember Kṛṣṇa all the time at all points of time? But by remembering his opulences, the first step of remembrance is remembering his opulences. And that's why Kṛṣṇa is helping us. Then he says, Pranavah sarva vedeshu kham shabda khe paurusham nripa. Who doesn't hear a sound in the sky? We are all hearing the sound. That sound itself is Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is saying, I am that sound. So we can remember by hearing any sound, we can remember, oh, this sound is because of Kṛṣṇa. So this is how the Shastras are helping us remember Kṛṣṇa. Yat chakshureva savita sakala grahanam. In the Brahma Samhita, Kṛṣṇa is, Brahmaji is speaking. Yat chakshureva sakala esha shakala savita shakala grahanam raja samasta shuramurti ashesha teja. Yasyagyaya bhramati sambhrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Just see the sun. What is that sun? Yasyagyaya bhramati sambhrita kala chakro. As one sees a sun, the sun, because of the sun there is time. So he says yasyagyaya. By whose agya? By whose instruction the sun is moving from one place to another? It is Kṛṣṇa. Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So immediately as we see the sun, the moon, the opulences of Kṛṣṇa are present in front of us in this material world, one can immediately remember Kṛṣṇa. And therefore we see that devotees who are exalted devotees in this world, they always remember Kṛṣṇa through his opulences. One time, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj, one time he was telling in lecture that one devotee, he committed a blunder. He came to Maharaj and Maharaj was very unhappy about it. He was chastising him left, right, center. He was very angry. He did a big blunder, big mistake. And he was getting chastisement. And Maharaj was saying that as I was chastising, he said sorry. He said sorry. And Maharaj was even more angry. And nowadays it has become a fashion. You commit any mistake and you can say sorry, that's all. And all the sinful activities that you have committed is gone. And immediately, Maharaj, as he was speaking this, he said that immediately he started smiling. Because he said that actually his sinful activities are gone. Why? Because Maharaj was saying that the word sorry is actually Kṛṣṇa's name. Kṛṣṇa, one of Kṛṣṇa's name is Shauri. Because Kṛṣṇa is born in Shuravansha. So anyone who chants Eka Kṛṣṇa Nama Kare Sarva Papa Chaye Navabhida Bhakti Purna Nama Haite Hai. And as he said sorry, Maharaj forgave him. You chanted Kṛṣṇa's holy name. Now what sinful activities are remaining? So even in one word, they are remembering Kṛṣṇa. Just the word sorry reminded him of Kṛṣṇa. That Kṛṣṇa is called Shauri. So by saying the word sorry, one can vanquish all the sins in one go. So this is their remembrance. A devotee always sees Kṛṣṇa at all points of time. In one lecture he was saying that while traveling around West or even in India today, you will find there are many hotels, and these hotels are named like they are called Holiday Inn. You know the word Holiday Inn? The word inn in English means hotel, a place where a person can go and reside for some point of time and go to different places. Holiday Inn, Hotel Inn, and things like that. So as Maharaj was traveling and he saw these boards, billboards where they were advertising, Holiday Inn, you can reside here, come for 3 nights, 2 days, this much is the charge, this much discount and all of that. But as he was seeing that, he said, oh, this inn is the name of Kṛṣṇa. You can find in the 6th chapter where Putana Leela is discussed, Maharaj said, Innastu Kantham. There a verse comes where gopis are protecting Kṛṣṇa by Kṛṣṇa's name. So they are saying, may the Lord in protect the kantha of Kṛṣṇa. So by seeing these words also a devotee remembers Kṛṣṇa. Such is their remembrance. At all points of time they remember Kṛṣṇa. So this is the first step in remembering Kṛṣṇa. The first step of remembrance is remembering the opulences of Kṛṣṇa which are just in front of us. If somebody starts remembering Kṛṣṇa in that way, one can see Kṛṣṇa all the time, everywhere, by seeing his opulences, by remembering these verses, by seeing the things of this material world. We can remember Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can remember Kṛṣṇa, and we can see that in the lives of exalted devotees. So this is the first step in remembrance of Kṛṣṇa. The goal is very high. The goal is to remember Kṛṣṇa at all points of time. But this is the first step. The second step of remembering Kṛṣṇa is remembering Kṛṣṇa in all situations. Now we see that in all objects, through opulences we can remember Kṛṣṇa. Now in situations also we can remember Kṛṣṇa. And this is why Shastras help us remember Kṛṣṇa in all situations. So much so, the Shastra glorifies the remembrance of Kṛṣṇa in all situations, that Brahmaji, he says, tattenu kampam susamikshamanam bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbhir vidadham namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bhak. One who can remember Kṛṣṇa in all situations, he is entitled for the kingdom of Godhead. This is Brahmaji's stuti. Remembering Kṛṣṇa, seeing Kṛṣṇa's mercy in all situations, at all circumstances in our life, gives us the opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead in this very lifetime. This is Brahmaji's promise. Tattenu kampam susamikshamanam bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbhir vidadam namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bhak. Tattenu kampam susamikshamanam. One who can do susamiksha. Susamiksha means shushtu samiksha. That means very diligently one can see, if one can see that all the situations that are happening in my life, what are they? That is tatte anukampa. That is mercy of Kṛṣṇa. If something is good, if something good is happening to me, what is that? That is mercy of Kṛṣṇa. If some problems or difficulties come in my life, what is that? That is also anukampa of Kṛṣṇa. If somebody can see, very exalted state, even this. If somebody can see such a position, that all the circumstances that are coming in front of me, that are brought front, they are nothing but mercy of Kṛṣṇa. Bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. And all the unwanted things, undesirable things that are happening in my life is just kritam vipakam. They are just result of my past activities. A devotee does not blame Kṛṣṇa for that. And therefore he sees the anukampa. He sees the mercy of Kṛṣṇa in all such circumstances. Just like Prabhupada. In all circumstances he is seeing mercy of Kṛṣṇa. Srila Prabhupada went to the West. He was on the ship, and the ship was reaching Boston, and as he looked at Boston, there were skyscraper buildings, there were people running around. All the environment was surcharged with the mode of passion and ignorance. And in such a situation, what is Prabhupada praying? Bado kripa kaile Kṛṣṇa adhamera prati kilagi anile heta kono e bhagati. He says that kilagi anile heta, O Kṛṣṇa, why you have brought me here to this place? Bado kripa kaile Kṛṣṇa, you have done great, you are very merciful to this fallen soul. That you have, but I do not know why you have brought me here. You must have some plan for me. There also, Prabhupada is seeing that he has Srimad Bhagavatam in his hand, And he is saying that who will listen to this message of Srimad Bhagavatam? But oh Kṛṣṇa, if you are merciful, if you are sitting in their heart, and if you go and change their heart, the message of Srimad Bhagavatam will do a miracle. And that did a miracle. Just imagine, we as Indians, most of us, we already know about Kṛṣṇa, Rama, Mukunda, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva. And Prabhupada in Boston city, where people were hippies, they did not know even nothing about Kṛṣṇa. They did not even, never heard of the word Kṛṣṇa. There Prabhupada was teaching Srimad Bhagavatam. And you will find that Prabhupada in 1968, 1966, there are lectures on 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are lectures on Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Prabhupada is discussing Panchatattva. Why? Because he had faith that Kṛṣṇa has brought me here. This situation is created by the Lord himself. Therefore, he also, in the second stanza, he prays, Ache kichu karya tab ei anumane nahe ke no ani bena eba ugrasthane. You must have some purpose, Kṛṣṇa, that you have brought me here. Ache kichu karya tab ei anumane. I am guessing you must have some purpose. Now, you will say that Prabhupada did all the efforts. He went to Sumati, he went to go and purchase the ticket, get the ticket to go back to US. He was doing so much effort. Where is Kṛṣṇa here? But Prabhupada was seeing that all my activities are meant to please Kṛṣṇa. My Guru Maharaj has given me the order to go to the West. So all the situations are actually the desire of Kṛṣṇa, his mercy. Therefore, there must be some plan that Kṛṣṇa has brought me here. That's why you have brought me here. Therefore, he prays. So in life of such pure, exalted devotees, we can see that they see Kṛṣṇa in all situations. One time, one of the personal servant of Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, he was telling me that one time a devotee came to Maharaj and he started crying. Then, Maharaj, what is this situation? Why your health is going down? Why Kṛṣṇa brought you in this situation where your body is completely paralyzed and you have to go through such pain? Srila Jayapataka Maharaj says, in great humility, he said that actually Kṛṣṇa is very merciful. He protected me. If I was healthy, maybe some desire for sense gratification would have crossed my mind. Now that is obviously not the case. But such humility and seeing Kṛṣṇa's hand in such situations, that is the greatness of such devotees. One time in Juhu, one devotee was telling me that one time in Juhu, one devotee, very similar case, a devotee came to Srila Guru Maharaj and he started saying that, Maharaj, you have been speaking Bhagavatam all your life. You have surrendered your heart to Kṛṣṇa. All your life you have did service to Kṛṣṇa, and this is what Kṛṣṇa has to do? Kṛṣṇa has brought you to this situation, to this condition, your health is down, your body is paralyzed. Very sweetly, Guru Maharaj said, Ye sab Bhagwan ka sneh hai. This is affection of Kṛṣṇa. So this is a mentality of a devotee who can see Kṛṣṇa in all situations. So the first step in remembering Kṛṣṇa at all points of time is remembering his opulences, just like here, where Kṛṣṇa is discussing that you can remember me through my opulences. And in this particular verse, he is discussing that you can remember me by seeing all the living entities. What is the cause? What is the bījaṁ? What is the seed of the living entities? Moving, non-moving, animate, inanimate object. What is the cause of all of that? It is me. I am the cause. Kṛṣṇa is the cause of all such objects. So one can remember Kṛṣṇa like that. So this is the second stage. One English gentleman, he wrote in his book his experiences. He was a theist, great thinker, and he believed in God. So he writes his experiences about what happened in his life. So he was running an orphanage there were around 100 small kids in that orphanage. And he was running that orphanage as a service to the Lord. So he says that one day, he did not get donations. It was running on donation. And every day there was breakfast food for all the kids in that orphanage at 10 o'clock. But he was such a believer in mercy of the Lord that he told that at 8 o'clock, the main kitchen head of that orphanage, he came to him and he said that we do not have grocery. What do I cook? The kids were at different place. And in the kitchen, this discussion is going on. He writes in his book. He says that there were around 100 students. We did not have money. We did not have grocery to cook for these kids. And the cook, the head cook, was becoming angry that what do I cook? How will you feed these kids now? He said, okay, let's wait. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock passed, nothing. 9:30 was the first bell that used to ring for the kids to give them idea of the time that okay, it's 9:30, within half an hour you have to come and take your lunch. Every day the head cook used to ring the bell. He comes and he asks, what do I do now? Should I ring the bell? How are you going to feed these kids? He said, ring the bell. Ring the bell. This guy is getting frustrated. I don't know, these boys will come, what will you answer? And you will not have to answer, they will come and look at my face. Where is the food? These are small kids. They are orphans. So he rang the bell. 9:45, there was the second bell. He said, what should I do now? 9:45, he said, ring the bell. He rang the bell. 9:55 was the last bell that used to ring, and all the boys by 10 o'clock would gather and sit, and they would do prayers to God, and they will sit for their food that day. 9:55, in complete disgust and frustration, this head cook comes to this person and he says, what do I do now? He said, ring the bell. He rang the bell and he did not know what to do. The boys started coming. They all sat down. They all did their prayers. And interestingly, a van arrived. A van arrived with all kinds of foodstuffs for all these 100 kids. And they said that there was a program nearby and we got too much of food there. Nobody ate and a lot of food is remaining. Therefore, we brought this food to you. You can feed your orphans. So that is how even a person who is believing in God, who is believing in Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa intervenes in his life. Kṛṣṇa intervenes. He can see the mercy of Kṛṣṇa coming through. So we all in our lives, actually we can see this mercy. In all our lives, we will go through some or other situation in some point of time in our life. One devotee was telling me that there were some situations in my life where I saw that this is not going to take place. This is not going to happen. In no case this is going to happen, and it happened. Impossible can become possible. Kartum, akartum, anyatha kartum, sarva-samarth. This is the definition of Bhagavan. He can do anything. So therefore we can see that Kṛṣṇa has intervened in our lives too, in many ways. Be it birth, giving us birth in a family where we can get devotional credits from the beginning, or be it giving association of exalted devotees in our devotional service, bringing us to Sri Vrindavan Dham. This is all the hand of Kṛṣṇa. And a devotee can remember Kṛṣṇa by seeing his hand in all such situation. This is the second stage. Now the time is up, so I will just take 5 more minutes to conclude. This is the second stage where he can see Kṛṣṇa's hand in every situation. Prahlad Maharaj was put to test. He was put in fire. But what was that fire to Prahlad Maharaj? Prahlad Maharaj was seeing that fire, Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is coming as fire. So therefore nothing happened to Prahlad Maharaj. So this is the second stage where we can see Kṛṣṇa in all such situations. The third stage of Kṛṣṇa is constantly seeing Kṛṣṇa's name, form, qualities and pastime. Tannam rupa charitadi sukirtananu smrityo kramena rasana manashi niyojya. That kind of remembrance comes when we cross these stages. That which is expected of a devotee, that which is recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami, remembering the name, form, qualities, pastimes of Kṛṣṇa. And that is obviously not going to be easy. But such remembrance, when we cross these stages, such remembrance are given by the Lord Himself. He reveals Himself to such a devotee. Therefore, we find that, we can see that in the life of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj went through so many tribulations in his life. He was put to so much of test. And at the end, Hiranyakashipu comes. He asks, what did you learn in your school, Prahlad? Oh dear Prahlad, tell me. What did you learn in your school? Prahlad Maharaj goes on to say, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. One should do devotional service to the Lord in such ways. And as he spoke like that, Hiranyakashipu was furious. Hiranyakashipu was completely furious. He threw Prahlad, took out his sword and he wanted to kill Prahlad. Before he kills Prahlad, he says, Prahlad, you have been speaking about your Lord. You have been speaking about Lord Vishnu all the time. Tell me where is your Vishnu. Tell me where is your Vishnu. And at that point of time, the Lord appeared. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the Lord at that moment appeared in the pillar where Prahlad Maharaj was standing. And as Hiranyakashipu was asking this question, tell me where is Vishnu, tell me where is your Lord, let's see how he protects you. And Prahlad Maharaj was looking at the pillar. Because Prahlad Maharaj was constantly seeing the Shyama Sundara form of the Lord. That form of the Lord, which is Shyama Sundara, Madana Mohana, Padma Dalayataksha, Pita Kausheya Vasha, that form of the Lord, that beautiful form of the Lord, Shri Vatsankinta Vakshasthala, that form of the Lord was directly seen by Prahlad Maharaj in the pillar. So that was the remembrance of Prahlad Maharaj, where he could actually see Santa Sradaiva Hirdayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shyama Sundaram Achinta Guna Swarupam. But that remembrance is a very high, very exalted state of remembrance of Kṛṣṇa. And that was achieved by Prahlad. And as Prahlad saw that form, Hiranyakashipu went ahead and broke that pillar. And who came out? Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. So our acharyas say that Prahlad Maharaj could see the form of the Lord in the pillar. And what was that form? That form was Shyama Sundara Pita Kausheya Vasha Shri Vatsankita Vakshasthala Kaustuba Mukta Kandara Manda Hasavadana. That form of the Lord. That is the form of the Lord which Prahlad Maharaj was seeing in that pillar. And Kṛṣṇa appeared for Prahlad. So such remembrance, constant remembrance, by remembering his opulences, just like the discussion that is there in this chapter, by remembering Kṛṣṇa in all situations, then a devotee can come to the stage where he can remember Kṛṣṇa and see Kṛṣṇa directly, the Syāma Sundara form of the Lord, constantly in the heart. And then a devotee becomes Bhagavatottama, the most exalted of all, as spoken by Kṛṣṇa in the 11th canto. So I pause here and I beg forgiveness for anything wrong that I have spoken, because this is not my realization. This is something that is given in the Shastra, and therefore I am just presenter, I'm just presenting it. So none of this is my realization. So therefore I beg forgiveness if I have spoken anything wrong. Please forgive me. You are all exalted Vaishnavas, and you can please pray for me that may I also get some remembrance of Kṛṣṇa in my life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.